it is Mogul Mondays, and we're going to get into it now. Thank y'all so much for coming to my channel. Mogul Mondays are inspired by the young 20-year-old in me who is trying to figure-ish out, and what bigger way to kind of start my YouTube journey than talking about money. Money, honey, money, money, honey. We all have a relationship to it, good or bad, and it's an inevitability in life. And so I thought that for the first video, I would do budgeting or budgeting and balancing expenses. I had put on my Instagram channel page story what topic people wanted me to talk about first, and it was between starting an IRA and balancing expenses and budgeting, and this one won. So this will be the first series, or the first topic in the series that will be Mogul Monday. I know that a lot of people have like Money Monday series or Business Monday series, or series that deal with the concept of business, finance, professionalism, etc., etc., etc. And so you're probably wondering, why stop on my page? Why talk to me? I'm taking the glasses off because they're bothering my soul. So you're like wondering why Jasmine, right? Like why? And my answer is simple in that I think that I'm relatable to an extent. I think that, of course, there's always going to be an experience that I can't speak to and towards. My channel is going to really work in being all-inclusive, because something that I've noticed about these videos is that it's from people who have their shit together. And I'm sorry, ish together. I'm gonna try not to curse and talking to the viewfinder. But people who have their stuff together, who are just kind of preaching the gospel and telling you how to budget, how to save, how to start their guru business, when they're already kind of like step 5 in the process. I'm step nowhere in the process, and I'm probably step 1.5. I've graduated college. Not saying that college is a necessary step in starting your journey into professionalism and business and finance and all that good stuff. It's just my journey, and I have a full-time job, and I have other jobs on the side that I do to make the income that I make, which is not a lot, especially since I live in the Bay Area, but it is enough for me to feel comfortable, not even feel comfortable, but to, you know, put on camera my lifestyle. So I'm gonna stop talking that much, and get to the topic. Why this channel? Why come over here and listen to me talk about business, finance, money, professionalism over the series of others? And my first answer is, I don't think that you should see it as in competition, but rather as in addition. I think that all the other channels that are out there, especially by Black women who are speaking on finance and money, are important and are needed, especially when our demographic is not really spoken for in the context of financial literacy and just how to grow a business or how to just become financially independent. And I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in and also acknowledge the fact that I don't know everything and a majority of anything. And I'm in my 20s, my young 20s. I'm growing and I'm learning. I'm feeling I'm succeeding. The in the making part of Mogul in the making is very true here, and something that I think that differentiates me. So it's like, don't not watch their stuff. And I think that as when you read, you know, books, you don't read just one book, you read several books, you read several articles on something. But something that sets me apart, I think, is I don't preach the gospel. I think that I'm relatable. Trying to get regular, y'all. I think that I'm relatable. My background and how I grew up, and just kind of my relationship to the hustle and finances and resources does not assume a one-size-fits-all method. I think that a lot of the times people are like, you too can do this, and if you are broke, you are not working hard enough, or why are you sitting on your couch, and when you could be... You're not gonna find that here with me, because I think that a lot of the times that comes from a perspective of somebody who's already up here, or comes from a middle class and beyond perspective that just isn't realistic, especially if you're like, okay, I have $2 in my bank account, I work 9 to 5, I have expenses, I have a life, how is what you're saying accessible? How is what you're doing applicable to me? You're telling me that I'm lazy because I decided to sit on a couch because I'm tired today. I'm speaking to that person who you are trying, but you are also a human being who needs to work on their ish, but like also need a day to themselves. And I'm here to say, take that day, and while watching me go through the process of building my brand, YouTube, and whatever stems from that, and building myself professionally in the other endeavors that I'm working on, that I can send some seeds of knowledge, but also, like, y'all can watch. This is not my autobiography. It's never that serious. I'm not that important, but watch. And I will always share and be kind of transparent with y'all because I think it's important. So I'm here talking to the common person from a common person perspective. I am a little bougie. I'm not going to say that I'm not. But I think that I just have an interesting perspective that is something that'll be kinder and just a bit more inclusive to folks. And I also add people onto my channel who are on a spectrum of, you know, financial access, if they, you know, permit, and talk about what is, you know, the issues with being able to save, budget, etc., etc. But I've spoken way too much. I'm gonna get into the whole budgeting, balancing expenses portion, and this is specific to what I do and different strategies that I think that are helpful that can free up some expenses. Step one in the process is creating short-term and long-term goals. And why this is important is because I think that a lot of times people don't know what they're budgeting for, or can't really see the importance of what their small decisions in saving $1 or putting something away can go towards or give you access towards, when it's just like, I'm just doing it to do it and I have no idea why. No, I would say set short and long-term goals. For me, my short-term goal is in about 5 months, I am, all fingers crossed, moving into my own apartment. Currently, I live with my aunt, and so my budgeting will reflect, you know, a young adult who lives with a family member on the low. And so in 5 months, something is drastically gonna change, and the very first thing is the money that I'm about to spend on rent in the Bay Area. We live for that, right? And so that's the first part, is my short-term goal is moving into an apartment with whole new expenses that I don't have to pay now. And so I'm looking at my money a little differently. I want to save so that I can pay the deposit, so that I can pay the application fee, so that I can pay the first few months rent, or have that money in my account, so that I'm not like moving around and trying to make, you know, my paycheck work when I move in. I'm saying too much. I'm working on it, y'all. So like, don't drag me to the comments. So that's the first part. Short-term goal. Long-term goal is I want to save money for when I'm in law school. That is something that is important to me, and hopefully next year, fall, I'll be going to. I'm taking a break before I head there. But law school is expensive, and it's not to pay for law school because, let's be real, I'm not going to save $200,000 between now and next September. If I do, wow, y'all, here are the keys. But, you know, probably not. So my long-term goal is to save money towards being able to live while in law school and not be too strapped for cash. I will be strapped for cash inevitably, but for me, it comes down to, instead of eating a ramen packet every day, can sometimes I diversify it and eat, like, you know, some noodles and spinach. And that's important to me. I want to be able to free myself a little bit more independently while in law school, and I have a few other goals in mind. But short-term, long-term, it makes you kind of see the purpose of your money a lot more, and makes your small decisions that you make when you choose to put that $1 away versus spending it. You're like, I'm putting it away to go towards this goal, which is so much more important than the way in which I would spend this $1 today. So yeah, number one. Number two is look at your bank account. I think that people are afraid to look at their account because they're, you know, afraid of what they're gonna see. Like, I know that I'm gonna be at negative. I know it's gonna say a few pennies. And my response to that is, even like, it's not healthy to not look at the amount of money that you have, because regardless of whether you look at it or not, it's not going to be there or it's going to be there. And so creating a healthy relationship with your bank account where you're not playing a guessing game of what's in there or hoping what's in there is important, because it makes you more accountable and also realistic to where you are at in the present time. Which will help in the long term with budgeting. You can't budget with imaginary numbers. You have to budget and balance expenses with really, really real numbers. Number 3, in part to the looking at your account, is something that I do. Here's a key, y'all. Here's a key. So you know that my short and long-term goals look like saving money for an apartment and then also saving money for law school, maybe a car, who knows? But part of that means that, and I looked when I get paid twice a month or 3 times a month. Every 2 weeks is when I get paid. And the first thing that I do is I take the money out for all of my recurring monthly expenses, like the big ones, right? So I take money out for my rent to my aunt. I take money out for my phone bill. I take money out for every other expense, student loans that I'm paying back right now, and credit card bill, credit card bills, we're gonna talk about that in a second. But I just take money out for the recurring important expenses that I need in order to live my life. Now, this does not include groceries. This does not include transportation. This does not include those things. This requires household amenities that you require in order to, be sustainable in your adulthood. So that's the first part. The second thing is, now that I subtracted that number, I subtract that number. Now I see the number that I'm at with all my essential expenses out of the way. Now I'm looking at secondary essentials. Secondary essentials to me are transportation, food, and health. So health is not secondary. What I mean by health is the miscellaneous things for your hair, for your skin, for what your pills and vitamins that you take. That's what I mean by health. Health bills, we're gonna get into debt and paying back those things in a second. And also, I actually might put that in a separate video, because I've created a regiment to how to pay back debt. And so if y'all are interested in that, please let me know, and I will definitely add that as a topic for Mogul Mondays, because I think that it's an important thing to tackle debt and to not let it, overcome you. I'm also acknowledging the fact that, you can try as hard as you can, but given the way in which capitalism operates, it will always expropriate more from your labor than what it can produce. Oh my God, it just got so negative here, didn't it? But, I'm trying. But going back, I subtract a number. Here it is, my secondary essentials, transportation. I am telling myself how much I think that I will spend on transportation. Look at your receipts. Look at how you live your life. You know reasonably, after living in your adulthood for a second, how much you're spending on gas if you drive, how much you spend on BART tickets or public transportation tickets if you are part of that lifestyle. I am, and Lyfts. And that part I'm cutting out though. But I look at that. I tell myself manifesting is big, is that I'm setting this hard budget for the amount of money that I'm going to spend on transportation. Then I X out that money. Next thing is food. Food is a very personal and complicated relationship for me, and I have decided to X out buying any takeout food for myself. I'm not buying any coffee. Coffee is the #1 thing that I think that people spend so much wasted income on, because it's cheaper to make it at home and it's overpriced at Starbucks, Pete's, Panera, all other places, right? It's overpriced and people do it every day. After a week, you spend $30 on a cup of joe, right? No, I've cut out eating out unless it's being paid for me. So I give myself a budget of about $175 a month for food, and I eat healthy. New year, new me, new this. I really am trying to incorporate healthier options, and so when I go to the grocery store, I'm very intentional. If y'all want a video about intentional grocery shopping where you can eat healthy and also get a large quantity of food, hit the comment box below and I will put you on to the goodies, because I'm learning that process, and I'm actually learning that I'm pretty good at it when I kind of let the booze go and put my health at the front and see where nutrients are, right? So 175, and then I look at health. I'm like, I know my hair, I'm a black girl, so you know I need my products. So now that all those expenses are out the way, I then kind of look at myself and go, you are human. So being human means that you want to do human things, right? So I allot myself a freedom splurge, and I'm being really kind of cutthroat with it, and so I'm saying like $60 a month is my freedom money. I can use it for going out to eat, I can use it for going out. That is my freedom money. And so $60 a month for that. If you're 21 plus, or if you're 18 plus, I don't know where you go out, 18-year-olds, but going out is a very expensive thing and hard to balance your check, especially when you start drinking. Ooh, yeah, give me that shot of Henny. Hit me up. Give me that glass. Oh, you want to buy me a drink? Zeddy? Oh, you don't? And then I got to pay for it. You know, it gets expensive. You start not caring about how much that drink costs, and the dollar bills keep going. You start being a bad bitch. You're like, oh yes, I got you, bitch. I got you. And then you're like, wait a second. My wallet says I should not get any of you. And then $100 later, here we are. And then you still could call it tone. No, you need to know what your freedom expense is, or freedom splurge is, and abide by it. Because quite honestly, you don't need to go out every weekend. It's not good for your soul, your liver, or your intentions. Maybe twice, that's fine, but like, whatever that budget is, if you have a bigger one that's more important to you, that's fine. Try to cut it in the back end in terms of if you're eating out more, how many groceries are you buying? Or if you're, you know, going to the club more, just don't go out to the club that much, okay? I'm sorry, like, you gotta limit that out. All that money is out. We're looking at the check and we're like, okay, so this is actually what my check looks like. You know what happens? And this is my favorite part. You have intentionally categorized every dollar and have put yourself in a very kind of controlled, I can see that money, I can know when I'm minusing, I can see where it's going. Everything else, and this is the same day that you get the paycheck, put it in your savings. Did you hear me? One more time. Put it in your savings. Let me say it slower so that y'all can.
Put it in your savings.
So for me, all of that money became around $600 every that's not true, because my rent's $500. I'll just say that right now, like, thank you, auntie, love you. But that number is how much I'm spending every 2 weeks or monthly. That is the number that I stick to. By putting, and this is a major key, by putting that money in your savings, right? You can now clearly see the money that you have allotted and thought through for the month so intentionally versus the excess money that you don't need to use, that you don't have a use for, and that can now go towards your savings goals. How big that number is, do not stress over, right? The goal and point of this is to get a really good roadmap to see where your expenses are going and to begin to chart and predict your patterns. I think that's really the goal of budgeting, if not to save, just to be balanced. And I think that's a really important distinction, is that you can budget to save and you can budget to balance. Sometimes you just don't have the infinite amount of resources to save. Like, you just don't. And I think that anyone who says, oh my God, you do, sometimes you just don't. And before you can walk, you need to crawl. Before you can go and get your PhD, you gotta get your MA. Before you go to space, you gotta deal with Earth, you know? So why would you jump to conclusions when you don't have to? And it's your speed. Your speed is the most important thing. Following everybody else who's doing their faux Insta-baddie lifestyle will get you nowhere. So put it away. live with what you distinguished as your splurge, all of your expenses that is requiring more money from you. Guess what? You have money that you are gonna unnecessarily use now in your savings, which, get a savings account. I stopped numbering these things, so I'm hoping that like you followed, or I put numbers without, you know, but get a savings account. Get a savings account. Will save your life. And take money from that to pay. Now you don't have to dig into your life expenses. Your life is still balanced. None of the money that you need for transportation, none of the money that you need to like go to work, to eat, to pay your rent, now goes to paying for all of the things that can happen, because life happens. Expenses come up. You cannot budget to perfection, especially when you are building and growing your finances. Anyone who's telling you otherwise is either selling the Kool-Aid or is not creating a realistic model for other people, because they think it's a one-size-fits-all method, and it's not. So that's all that I have for budgeting and balancing expenses. I'm sure that I'm missing some things. The important part for me is that y'all feel affirmed in your financial decisions, or start to create a very honest relationship with your money that is not in competition, but that is really trying to find out who you are based off of your monetary patterns. Live the lifestyle that you can afford, but below that, right? So like when I say afford, I don't mean the max amount that you can work your A off to get to. No, the lifestyle in the middle that you can afford, or when you grind hard and you're doing that extra stuff, that can go to your tomorrow, where you don't have to grind as hard to get a larger and larger and larger return. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this first series of Mogul Mondays. I appreciate you all so much. The one person, the 2 people, 3 people, maybe even 4 people that watch my videos right now, because it means so much to me. I believe in financial literacy for my Black people, my brown people, for everyone, but it is an important thing to talk about in the Black community, because it's something that is systematically denied to us. And so I think that anyone and everyone who has or who is working towards financial competency should share what they're doing that is working. And I think what I am doing is working. I acknowledge some of the privileges that I do have, but I also do have setbacks and bad habits that I'm working on breaking, familial wise, and also just habits that I've produced myself throughout school life. If there is a college student version of this that y'all would like, please let me know in the comment box. I keep on saying comment box because I respond, and I'll do addendum videos, because I'm no longer a college student, so I'm not really speaking to that experience. I'm speaking to someone who like makes an income of any number but still makes an income. And so I just want to speak to who is watching, speak to who wants to hear me, and I really appreciate y'all for listening. So thank you so much for coming over to my video. I look forward to the next video that I put out. Mogul Monday will be a series every single Monday that I put out. It'll be out every, well, whenever the wind blows. It'll be out every Monday. Now, will I say it's the time every day? No, I'm not gonna set myself up for failure. Not I, not this, not you, not ha-ha. So, I'm done. I'm a random, sorry, but thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. She made her face though to do that, all y'all. I did, sorry, but